All right, a very good morning to you. It is exactly, what, 4 minutes past the hour. And the show is Your World. We're taking a break a little bit, just a little bit from what is happening on earth today. It's such a big day. And most of us are looking forward to see what the day will bring by the end of the day. And this is as far as the impeachment motion against the deputy president, that is Rigathi Gachagua. But equally, let's talk about something that I think all of us should be mindful about, all right? And this is as far as securing our future, and this is through pensions and other saving channels. And we're talking about pensions, okay? Because planning for retirement is one of the most complex topics that to decipher. And in personal finance, to young people who have just joined the workforce, retirement seems too far to even think about. And on the other hand, those leaving the workforce wake up in retirement with little or no savings in their retirement accounts. So today on the show, like I said, we'll be exploring how people can secure their future through pensions and other saving channels. And to help us with that conversation, my guests are already here. We have Wilson Wariari on my left, who's a Chief Investment Officer, Avocap Asset Managers. Good to have you this morning. Thank you so much for your time. And we'll also have Mercy Kimunge, who's a retirement coach and manager, umbrella and retail solutions from Zamara, Kenya. Good to have you as well, Mercy. I mean, this is the second time that you're here, right, on the show, but it's been a minute.
It's been a small minute.
Right, since you're here. So Karibuni and Wilson, first time right here on the show. Good to have you. Thank you so much for your time. And like I said, this is a very important conversation that we could not overemphasize how much we need to think about. And like I said, for so many young people, it's like, by the time I get to 60, I should have figured something out. Yeah, yes. And then you get to almost that age, and literally, right? There's nothing that happened. Yeah. So before we get into the nitty-gritties and how we're doing as a country as far as savings and investment and all that debate that comes within, Mercy, can we first of all understand Zamara, and then we'll come to Avocap as well, just to understand how important this conversation is to, you know, both of you, and why you factor so much into this conversation. So let's start with you.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much. So why is this conversation very, very important? It's a conversation that basically puts us in a space where we are thinking about our future. Okay. We are in spaces where we mostly think about what's happening today. What's happening tomorrow, what will happen. When we're talking about our life goals, we talk about 1 year, 3 year, 5 years. Yeah. When someone tells you what's your 40-year goal, 40 years is so far away. Yeah. In fact, a 40-year-old person is deemed to be, you know, a dinosaur or something, you know. Yeah. So, but when it comes to retirement planning, that's the lifespan that you're looking at. So it's very, very important. It's a critical conversation. Sometimes it doesn't start as early as it should. Right. And I'm hoping with these conversations that are happening within the pension convention, that we are going to see more people, and especially the young people. Yeah, especially people who are in the gig economy, people who are self-employed. We've seen so many young people starting up their own businesses, meaning they don't have the backing of an employer to then push them into getting into a pension space. So it's a good conversation to have, and I look forward to the results of these conversations as we progress into the future.
Absolutely. And one of the things that a lot of young people struggle with, because now we're seeing a lot of like gig culture, so sometimes saving versus investing becomes difficult. Yeah. In so many ways, because then there's either the inflow of money or money comes in once in a while. So navigating that becomes a bit of a challenge for so many young people. But again, we'll explore and see ways. But Wilson, again, Avocap, right? Let's talk a little bit about you guys and how you factor into today's conversation.
Yes. Thank you. Avocap Asset Managers is a fund manager licensed and regulated by the Capital Markets Authority. And offers different investment products and savings products. We offer wealth advisory, and part of this wealth advisory is for you as an investor. How are you planning for today and also for tomorrow? So the conversation is not just about, so it's about your goals. And we look at the goals, both your short-term goals and your long-term goals. Part of the long-term goals is that during this period that you're quite active in your, whether it's in your employment or even in your, you know, you're speaking about the gig economy, about people in business and all that, then how do you plan for this future? And for us now, we offer these investment products that help you transition that from your savings and from your investments now, that you can actually now plan for your future. Okay. So for us, we feature in that conversation of, for those people that are both in the employment workspace, but also mostly even the ones in the business and also in the gig economy, then how do we help you to transform your savings and your investment now to take care of your immediate goals, but also plan for that long-term goal.
I really like that aspect of planning for now, but also planning for the future. Because majority of the times we usually think about your future and what it's going to look like, and then we forget now. And I'm sure you've seen this joke, around. What is it called? 500 shillings aitanunua. Right? Okay. So then, Mercy, what is it that you have noticed? What are the current trends, especially when we're talking about saving versus investing? And if you're saving, then where do you save? What do you save on? What is it that you are noticing? And let's say between the young people versus old squeeze is very relative.
It's relative,
But let's say the maturing team. Yes.
Okay. There is quite some uptick in terms of people wanting to now put money aside.
All right.
For the longest time, I think savings and investment had always been, I need to have something tangible that I can see. Is it a piece of land? Is it a property? Is it housing? Is it a car? Something tangible was deemed as investments.
Right.
But as we have seen coming into the age of information, we are able to see people differentiating what is saving and what is investing. Because those are two different things, right? Saving is essentially you putting money aside for the short term period. You're less than 1 year, you're 1 year, 2 year, 3 years. That's savings, something that you can tap into quickly. That's more of a saving. An investment is something that is pretty much long term, something that you want to continue having its own compounding effect in terms of growth, right? So if you're investing, as Avocap will tell us, if you're investing in, say, bonds, it's not a 1 year conversation. It's going to be a 5 year, 8 year, 10 year conversation, right? If you are investing in the stock exchange, they say when you're investing in the stock exchange, it's not a short-term investment. You want it to be in the long time for you to benefit from the fluctuations of the economy and, of course, the impact on the stock prices. So we are seeing a lot of young people deciding and noticing the difference between savings and investment. So for savings, you'll find so many people have picked up the money market funds. That's happening, And now we're also having the conversation, okay, we see that there's bonds, there's shares, there's all this, there's property, there's land, there's collective investments, that's happening. And as that is also happening, there's then the conversation of, as a person who's doing business, how do I, as much as I'm saving and as much as I'm investing, how do I put money aside that I know the goal is one, to pick it up at the end.
At some point,
at the end where I know now I am tired. I just want my money now to come back and, nichipigie mwili pole with the money that I've been putting aside. And that's now where the retirement comes in. You'd see that the uptake in the individual pension plans have started to increase. Young people are engaged in the conversation of how is my money being invested? How are the returns on my pension fund performing? Because I know it will impact me as I save. So when they're looking at the time horizon from when they start saving and when they are going to retire, and most of them are looking at what, I want to retire at 50. Well, because 45 is not a retirement age, guys.
No, I had someone who said they want to retire by 35.
I know, but that's not a retirement age, unfortunately. You can retire from active everything else at 35, but your money, let it grow until you get to, to 50, so you have a substantial amount of it. So those are trends that we are seeing in the market.
I feel that. And emphasizing really, Wilson, on the investment part. I know there's a lot of talk about real estate, right? Shares, bonds, all those things. That sometimes a lot of young people are confused. They're like, Sasa, then where do we invest even then? What do we invest in, right? So what is it that you are noticing as far as specifically on investment and the uptake of the same, again, between these two different groups?
So I think one, the conversation for a long period, as Mercy has rightly said, people felt that for you to be to be said you have invested, you need that real estate portfolio, you need that large portfolio, and then at times comes into the aspect of that when you want to retire, or that moment you need your money working for you. As she's saying now, you want that, to relax and have the money working for you. That at that point, you find that now you don't have the cash flows, you don't have the wealth you have can actually not sustain your, your daily lifestyle. because it's probably tied too much. So the aspect and what you are seeing now currently is that in the last few years, the conversation has turned into savings products, like money market. We have seen that growth of the money market in the last 3-4 years, quite a huge uptick both by, especially by the young people. And now the conversation is, that's a savings product. It's a cash and cash equivalent.
All right.
If you look at the design of the CIS, the CIS products, your money market is your cash and cash equivalent. It's this emergency fund that you want to put aside. It's this amount that you want, you're saving for, school fees for these short-term obligations.
All right.
But beyond that is turning the conversation into, after savings, after getting the disciplines of savings. And I will say that money market is actually really bringing that back aspect of that with the little you have, you can actually start saving. That's the beauty about the money markets.
Yeah, you don't have to have much.
Yes, yes. If either now, like for AvoCap, our minimum is 3,000. So with that minimum, you can start your money market fund, invest in the AvoCap money market fund.
Okay.
But beyond that, then how do we turn this conversation from savings to the investments, to long term? As Marcia said that when you look at the investments, you're speaking about a longer duration. And for us, it's now transitioning, and the products, when you look at now the innovation across the CIS space itself. For AvoCap, we feel that now there's a huge conversation about the savings products. Probably now we need to have active management within the investment space itself. So if you come to now the equities, investment in the shares itself. So how do you help investors who are a bit worried about the volatility, as they are working quite hard in their businesses, in the employment, they can't track the performance of the equities market. So how do you provide products that help them invest in the equities market themselves? When we speak about the government boards, most investors are lost within the jargon of the boards themselves. So how do you help them invest in these market and help them build these portfolios that they are turning, you're building them from money market, your entry point is your money market, but then building them towards now these investment products through managed equity funds and through managed board funds. So that's a conversation we are seeing, and I will say that is now, as investors continue, I will say it's a good thing that as they continue investing in this money market fund, then let's turn the conversation to, after savings, let's help you move to the next stage.
I know there's usually that fear of risk, right? And other people would say, again, depending on how much risk you're willing to take, think about that before even thinking about what to invest in, right? So there's that aspect of moderate versus high risk, right?
Moderate and high risk.
Yes. So and a lot of people struggle because one of the things is we want our investments zilipe vizuri and not just this tiny interest that we're getting. We want, big benefit from the same. So then how do you turn that conversation, first of all, to help this person understand maybe their level of risk and what they're investing in, and just calm their mind, because if I lose a lot, that becomes a little bit tricky for so many people. But before we tackle that, can we then understand how the pension landscape has evolved, over time, and especially with the changes, right, with the case in point, the NSSF and all those things, and whether this sort of like affected, how people, take up on the same. Marcy, what would you say? Has it changed over time? Is it improving? Is it not?
Yeah, so the pension industry, the retirement benefits industry has really grown. It's in the trillions. We talk about it in Kenya. So clearly the working force that has pension funds and they are saving through any retirement fund, that they are actually putting in money that is going to develop this economy in the spaces that the monies are invested in. So you've rightly talked about NSSF. It's a good channel to invest because on other retirement funds, it's mostly a voluntary product that an employer provides their employees because I want the loyalty from the employee, or I want to make sure that by the time this employee is leaving, they are leaving not just thinking that they earned a salary, but there's still a substantial amount that can help them into their retirement because they've given time, right? So NSSF has also come to plug into that space. It's the social security where it plugs in everyone who is in the workforce, right? Meaning from your security guard all the way to your CEOs and shareholders, right? So all of us are equalized in that nature by contributing 6% of our salaries. What does this do for all of us? It means that we are getting a future whereby there is more substantial amount of money that we can plug into and rely on in our retirement, right? However, the trillions may look nice because they are for everybody, right? But how about me as an individual? If I drill down to me as an individual, am I saving enough? You know, have I thought about my retirement goal, right? When I get into retirement, where am I going to live? Am I going to live in Nairobi? Am I going to live in the rural area? If it's the rural area, do they know me? Do I know them? You know, what's the surrounding like? What's the cost of living there? Because I have to start factoring in those things that at the end, the amount of money I am receiving in terms of either a monthly payout or a lump sum investment should help me survive in the years in retirement. Fun fact, people are living for longer in retirement than they have actually worked. Because you start working at 25. You retire at 60, right? How many years are those? Around about 35?
Yes.
Right. So when you look at the mortality studies done in Kenya, what's the life expectancy age? It's around 77, 78, right? But if we ask everybody here, if we have a grandparent who's alive, we would probably be saying yes. And what's their age? They are 90. That tells you, you retire at 60, you have another 30 years to live on money that you've been saving for 35 years. Meaning you have to work a lot harder now to make your money work for you, to make your money grow, so that at the time when you get to 60 and you're collecting your money, this money then will better help you in the next couple of 30 years, right? And even more because, well, we're living longer. We're saying, I'm hoping, some of us are hoping to click 100, you know? So that means you need to have a lot more money. So do you have a ballpark figure that you are working towards? Then looking at your current age and looking at the time horizon, how much time do I have to get to retirement? So for the younger guys, the earlier you start in your gig economy, because I'm seeing now guys starting to make money at 18, like 16, you know, even earlier, right? In your gig economy, if you can just open a pension account, you know, this one is purely for your retirement. You have another investment account and you have another savings account. Those are three. They will complement each other in the long run. But you have one that you know, if these other two do me dirty, I have this other one that you know. That I know. Even my business, because a business is also part of another arm that you work towards ensuring that in retirement it's helping. But your businesses can be up, can be down. We've seen there's a downturn as we are currently seeing. So your retirement account basically caters for that. So when we talk about maybe in Zamara, some of the solutions that some of the products that we have that individuals can look into, we have two. We have one that is more based on the mobile money, which is called Fahari. You don't need to sign up on any paper. Just go onto the website and key in your details and your account is created. All you need to do is save through your M-Pesa. You don't even need to interact with us in the office. Right? Then we have another one that is more paper filling, right? And that one, of course, looks after more people who are looking to even consolidate funds from other places that they have been saving for pension, which is called Vuna. And it provides a platform where members get more than just saving because you save and you also get a group life cover. It's not every place you will find a group life cover on your pension. And those are some of the innovations that at Zamara we endeavor to keep doing so that as individuals, self-employed people, people in the gig economy are looking to put money, they are covering not just one aspect of their life, but also another aspect, right? And even in this gig economy, you find you have employees, 5, 10, 15, 20 people. That's a company. If you're an employer and you're willing to give these people an extra percentage as a savings, then you're welcome to have a conversation with us and we can journey with you just to make sure that by the time each of those individuals are getting to retirement, they are happy. They are so happy about the portfolios that they have put together.
What's going to happen to me and my family and all those things. I see that. And in this day and age, and mentioning still on gig economy and social media, and Wilson, I'd like you to contribute to the same. In terms of then, how would you say this is playing in terms of saving, you know, or investing culture amongst the young people? Because most of them actually earn their money, first of all, from social media. So how would you say that it's shaping both saving and investing?
Investor education. I think one thing that has been a great has revolutionized the investment landscape in the last 2 years, especially is you look at the investor education happening on TikTok, investor education happening on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's a lot that you speak to investors nowadays, and they're even speaking to you about rates. Because they have learned it from TikTok. So I think what the social media has done has helped disseminate this information. Before.
But is it for the better or for the worse? The reason why I'm asking that is because, so you listen to different people and all of them have like different ideas and ways of, saving and investing and maybe castigating one over the other.
Yes.
That then probably leaves a lot of people confused.
So that's, in hindsight, that could be, I would say there are two ways to look at it.
Okay, all right.
One is in terms of the awareness.
Okay.
That what social media has done has created the awareness about these investment products. That's one. Then the other aspect is now where the professionals now come in to help out
Leverage
of
on
all
social
this
media.
noise.
Okay.
Yes, because now there are a lot of people also giving the investor education, probably not well versed with the products and the offerings, but there's that first creation of awareness.
Okay.
Then beyond that is now where the investment professionals comes in.
Okay.
That's where now, like for us Avocap asset managers, our wealth advisory comes in, that we are sitting with you and understanding that what are your goals, what are you looking to achieve, what are your short-term, what are your mid-term, and what are your long-term goals. Then helping you work towards those goals. So that's looking at this age of social media as helping disseminate this investor education faster, helping at least breaking this information from. At times, the investment professionals may come with a very big jargons, so making it very simple for investors to understand. Then from there, now you sit with your wealth advisor. Sit with this professional. They'll guide you on this goal that you want to achieve. This, for example, if you have now that savings goal, you're saving towards, even speaking of the same people within the gig economy, that for them, the aspect is how do they accumulate their wealth to get to these levels, whereby now they can say that as I be retiring, I've created this wealth that's will sustain me. Okay. And so for us, what we'll do is we'll help them work towards, from your initial goal, your savings goal, that we have offered you a money market fund. Then we're helping you now go to the next level to accelerate and accumulate towards a certain goal. Okay. That, for example, you are saying that now, because the other aspect about retirement, as you said, life expectancy has really improved. The health standards are improving in the country. And with that, the life expectancy is rising. So now, if you live longer and you have these 30 years of active service, then how do we help you that your lifestyle, from your healthcare, from your taking care of your loved ones that you're taking care of. If you were living in your own home, your electricity bills, your guards, all those you'll still be paying for them. If you're on rent, if you're living on rent, you'll still be paying for this. Then how do we help you, move towards that? And speaking about now the investment and the innovation allow that scope. So for example, for us, we have a product called Avocap GAO. It's income distribution fund. It's an income distribution fund that once you have built towards this lump sum, or once you have gotten your pension, you've gotten this lump sum. I think one thing we have seen is that for a lot of people, there's that urgency that now, since I'm retiring and have gotten this lump sum amount of money, I need to start invest it now, or start this biashara. They have never run a business before, but they want to start now. Or they have been told by someone. They have also been a bit prone to people trying to scam them along the way, because they have this lump sum that is coming. That if you do this, this will give you these high levels of returns and all that. And for us, what we sit down with people who are about to retire, who are planning for their retirement, is that once you receive these, can we do a budget of what are your requirements, what are your expenses? Then out of that, what was your basic earning and what are you getting from your lump sum? Then you can divide it in 2 or 3 phases. That there's this phase that there's this group A, this is to take care of my expenses, of my living expenses. And so I need an active monthly income to take care of that. So our Gulf Fixed Income Distribution Fund has 4 classes: a monthly, quarterly, semi-annual, and annual income distribution.
All right.
So we help you invest in this fixed income space, basically the government bonds market, and you are getting this constant monthly income. So that means you have taken care of your basics.
Yeah, because you're used to getting your money like, monthly, and then all of a sudden you have all this much money and you don't know what to do. And you know, we need to go on a break, and then when we come back, we'll start with the second way, right?
Yes.
That you're helping the pensioners at that point. Because at this point is when you're being called for all the harambes, you're the chief guests, and all those things. And before you know it, your money is gone, all right? So let's take a break. I don't want to rush you through that, so let's take a break, and then when we come back, we'll pick from there. And then, Mercy, then we can also talk about some of this, you know, financial literacy initiatives that are available, you know, and especially for the young people, that even the pensioners, you know, themselves, so that they do not lose their money one way or the other. All right. So all that is coming up after the break. Stay with us. The show is Your World.
Try the new Dunked All-Star Box for only 8.90 Kenyan shillings. Hope you're ready for the new star of the show. KFC, it's finger-licking good while stocks last.
Bosco.
In Zari, nothing is certain.
I don't think we'll ever be the same again.
Will you survive the jealousy?
Unajiona tajiri, eh? Zitaisha tu tuone utaringana pesa gani.
The secrets.
Ukiambia mtu yeyote, Bosco.
Nini uniambia Lona?
The deception.
To family.
Will Nina survive Lola?
How is this possible?
The ultimate face-off. Zari continues weeknights at 8:30 on Maisha Magic Plus, DSTV channel 163, GoTV channel 3.
He will come and save you. He will come and save you. Say to the weary one, your God will surely come. He will come and save.
There is nothing that God has to give that He's giving to us some other way. It's through Christ. It's through Christ. Have you given your life to Christ? Have you yielded to Him? Have you accepted Him as Lord and Savior of your life? Friends, that's where we begin.
No wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. No shine.
The 2024 RATES Association of Kenya Conference is here from October 30th to November 1st in Naivasha. Register today and be part of this influential gathering. Visit rak.co.ke.
All right, welcome back. And here time flies, 32 minutes past the hour. The show is Your World. And today we're tackling a very important conversation that really we cannot overemphasize how much we need to talk about it. And this is securing our future through pensions and other savings channels. And to help us with that conversation this morning, we have Wilson Wariari, who's a Chief Investment Officer, Avocap Asset Managers. And we also have Mercy Kimunge, who's the Retirement Coach and Manager, Umbrella and Retail Solutions from Zamara, Kenya. And also to mention that there is an ongoing conference that is happening today and tomorrow at KICC Courtyard. And this is the Pensions Conference and Expo 2024 under the theme, Making Social Security a Reality for All, Future Yako Mikononi Mwako, which we'll talk about a little bit as we continue. But Wilson, let's pick up from where you left, right? Yes. So the second part of helping this, pensioners, I would say, manage their funds.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So I said the first part is to identify your recurring expenditures and we want to give you these constant income because one thing these people fear is the absence of this income. They're already used to a salary. You have been employed since you are 25 years. So that means you have been having a salary every month. So once we help you do that, Then from there now we can speak about these other investment or goals that you have.
Okay.
That probably there are these properties you're trying to develop. There are these other investments that biasharas that you want to get into. Because most of them at that age you're still also active. You still, if you're saying that your life, the life expectancy is 77 and even up to 90, it means you also have that 30 years to actively contribute towards, towards the community.
Okay.
So what we speak about at that level is now, how do we help you transition without you jumping into something? So that to avoid, people, as you're saying, them being scammed, going into things, buying into properties or buying into things that probably do not suit their risk appetite, or they don't have the skill set to manage them. So now that becomes now under advisory. So it means that now once you receive your pension money, we help you create this now income distribution. But when you want to speak about your investments, then sit down with the professionals. We guide you that, okay, these are the risks. These are the expected returns. This is what you need for this. Do you actually have the capacity to do this project?
Okay. And make informed choices.
Make more informed choices.
I see that. Thanks, Wilson. So Mercy, very quickly, we talked about pensions, mostly, and it's important really to think about it. But aside from pensions, what are some of these other channels then that people can think about when we're thinking about saving and investing, and the whole question about financial literacy initiatives, especially what Zamara, is doing to help with the same?
Yeah. So Zamara is big on financial literacy, and why it's big on that is because once a person is informed, we're told once you're educated, you educate one person, you've educated a whole village, because whatever knowledge they have, they will be able to disseminate it. So that's where Zamara comes in when it comes to financial literacy. And it's done in a couple of spaces. So for example, if I am having a corporate entity, we will work together with the corporate entity to have targeted series of conversations. So you have your new joiners coming in, they are new. Retirement is a new conversation to them. They probably don't even want it. There are those who say, can I opt out of this thing? But once you provide that information, they're able to understand why it's important. And once they understand why it's important, they become the champions of ensuring that this progresses. As you're doing that with corporates, you're also having your retail individuals, your one-on-ones, your people who walk into the office, or a forum such as this. We've all met, we are non-related, we don't have any unique employer, but we talk about pensions, and you get interested, and they tell you the services that we have, and we walk the journey with you. When it also comes towards the end of retirement, we have now the retirement planning, which is very detailed, to be very honest, because as Wilson has alluded, there's the budgeting aspect, but the budgeting aspect needs to start from the time I'm 25.
Let me tell you,
just
this whole budget thing,
because once it becomes my lifestyle to budget, once I get to Wilson's desk at the point of now I need my monthly income, the conversation on budgeting becomes very easy because I can tell you this is how I have been living my life, but because it hasn't happened at the point of retirement, it's also important to re-emphasize. We also know that we are not guaranteed tomorrow. There's conversations on estate planning. How do you plan about your trusts? Because in the event you're not here, someone will inherit your estate. Have you planned for it? Part of financial literacy that comes into it, The other thing is the continuous snippets and newsletters that are sent out on what's happening, not just in the country, but in the global space. Because different spaces do pension differently, but eventually those trends either catch up with us or, they sweep us. So like the NSSF increasing to 6%, it's been a long-term conversation coming, but it's here now. That conversation had been happening way before 2013. So now that it has been implemented, employers were ready for it, So they had that continuous conversation around it. It's still there. We are waiting for the day it will be implemented. Now it's been implemented. Let's run to the next level. I think the other thing, as you had alluded, is the continuous conversation on social media. We have everyone who's talking about it, but we also have the professionals talking about it. So Zamara, we have a podcast. So using that podcast, we're able to now also channel information. So it becomes a continuous level of providing information that then keeps the member informed, keeps the member updated to the extent that at the point they get to retirement, they feel that the journey, we've walked with you. Because that's our conversation. We want to work with you to power your prosperity as you're heading into your golden years. Yeah,
I see that. So then, Wilson, can we talk about some of these other, alternatives that are available? Because I said, like I said when we started the conversation, most of the time when we're thinking about saving versus investment, there's I don't want to say traditional, conventional, products and services that we always look at. It comes, top of mind. But over time, we've seen so many changes and new products, coming up and other alternatives. So what are some of those that you would consider safe that people really need to know about?
So I would say innovation in the investment products offering is growing in the country.
Okay.
And Avocap, we are really spearheading innovation within this space. For a long time, the product offering has always been a lot of vanilla products. Buy land, buy shares, buy boats. And where it became hard for people either to control, probably the shares market, investors don't know what's happening. So most people became a bit disillusioned in that market. When you look at the board space, that most people probably don't know how to, basically do that ladderling and create that portfolio that can give them these income streams. Real estate has become a bit hard over the last few, you can't easily get out. So people are in this huge real estate, but they don't have the capacity to develop, so that becomes an issue.
All right.
And then also, but now the conversations are changing. Further now, if you want to get into the investments, into the real estate space, there's the rates that you want to get into this market. You don't have to own the whole building. You can actually own part of the building through the rates. So that's an innovation that's happening. It's an alternative. You're still invested in the real estate market, but now you have professionals managing for you. You have also pulled as several people, and that's the aspect of the collective investment schemes. The CIS. It's basically that pooling, that a lot of people you have pulled together to do this real estate project. So therefore, you are distributing your risk. You're not taking the risk that if that project fails, that all your investments are in that, and that helps in diversifying your investments. That you have this amount of money, you can put some into real estate through the rates. Then when it comes now to the capital markets themselves, as you said, we are spearheading the the revolutionizing basically the investment products into this. That in the shares market itself, you want to invest in the Nairobi Securities Exchange, and you don't have the capacity to actually monitor how active the market is. For us, we have what we call the Dhamani Equities Fund. So the Dhamani Equities Fund is a professionally managed active shares trading fund that invests in the Nairobi Securities Exchange. So therefore means there are professionals with team of research analysts, team of portfolio managers, investment managers who are looking at your portfolio actively to give you a return. So that's an alternative that instead of you just buying shares and probably you are caught into one, you didn't know when to sell, when to buy, then there are professionals looking at that for you. In the bond market, the same as I have said. There's an, if you want to be, you have this target that I'm targeting to build my retirement home. I'm targeting to build my home before retirement. Because most people who are working here, they say that by the time I want to reach the age of 45, the age of, I want to have built my own bomber somewhere that I retire to. So what is helping you to save towards that, that goal? So for us, we have an Almasi fixed income accumulation fund. So this one helps you to accumulate your investments, and as you work towards that goal that you're working towards. And then as you get to that level of retirement, and you don't have to have retired. As you say, these conversations, it's not just about the future. It's also as Mercy has said, can you start the process now?
Now,
if that budgeting process, if you're saying that I need this amount of money to pay for my, to pay for my rent, to pay for this, to pay for my expenses, can you create that GAO shield? GAO is basically your shield. Can you create that GAO fund now that you know that from now henceforth, these expenses are taken care of? So those conversations have been, and I would say now spearheading that innovation around that from the vanilla products themselves, but offering safe investments. And the good thing with the collective investment space and the regulations behind it, by the same, you know that they create this tripartite, high-level, I would say, mechanism that helps from your fund manager, who is just there for the strategy, to your custodian, to the trustee, to ensure that your investments are in safe hands, that the investment manager or the fund manager themselves are doing according to the law, and according even to the investment policy statement. So those helps that create level of security for investors, that wherever I'm invested in, that my funds are secure.
I see that.
Yes.
And Mercy, I'm pretty sure Zamara also has, you know, a lot of innovative, you know, approaches. We have mentioned maybe some of them, but there are others that you'd also want to contribute to. Listen, and now I have noticed, because there's a lady that I know who invests in like luxury handbags, and some guys who also invest in like luxury watches, like, you know, pieces that in the next few years they would not be there, and they would sell them at, you know, and get some profit. So I don't know if that is something that maybe some people might want to think about. I'm sure
Wilson will call that commodities.
So it's basically that whole aspect of, it's not just your watch. It's probably even an automobile.
Oh yes, it's like classic cars.
These, there were a few pieces of the same automobile. You know,
art collection.
People investing in that, the acquisition of art. So basically, it's also an alternative investment space. And we are seeing that really growing. I see the art, functions within the like Nairobi city itself. That's really increasing. As you're saying, you want that signature handbag. So you buy it. There's that signature, you know, watch. So that aspect of luxury and the exotic investment products, that's also growing. That's also an option. Yes.
I see that. All right, Mercy. So these are the innovative ideas.
Well, I think when it comes to investments, there's pretty much as many spaces as you can invest. So when it comes to pension funds, though, the regulator, who's the Retirement Benefits Authority, is very clear in places where you can invest. So they are cognizant of the fact that this money will be invested for a very long term period, right? And they don't want monies disappearing in the process. So there have to be the safe spaces, which is more of what Wilson is calling vanilla spaces of investing. But with time, they're also adding up what we're calling the alternative assets, the REITs, the private equities, the venture capital, in places where that, and the offshore investments, where pension funds can actively invest. So something else that is innovative that Zamara is doing is that when you look at our individual plan, which is where I as an individual come up and sign up for the form, the plan is called VUNA. So within VUNA, we have what we call member choice. So as an individual, I will assess, we have a questionnaire. So you will assess your risk capacity. So are you, what we call them a bit differently than the low, medium, and high. We call them, are you a conservative investor? That's a person who is not willing to take much risk, but they want the returns. So they are a safe saver. Then you have a moderate saver. A moderate saver is someone who is, I am willing to take some risk, but I'm also holding back on too much risk. So I'm just in the middle. Then we have the aggressive investor. And this questionnaire helps you identify where you are. Because these questions speak to whom you are. So for example, if I ask you a question such that you have invested in this item, you bought it at 10 shillings, the price of this item has now moved from 10 shillings to 4 shillings. Are you crying? Are you happy? You know, are you willing to wait? So if you're willing to wait, then you know you're an aggressive person. You will know that at some point the price will even out and also grow. If you're crying, means anything that is going below your initial investment, you do not want to see that moving anywhere. So you're a very conservative investor. And the person who is moderate is, okay, it's gone. How much further will it go? So they need to know, is it going to go any further? If it's not going any further, then I'm fine. But I will wait it out. So this questionnaire helps you as you're joining to know where you are. So that wherever it is that you are, you then select an investment plan that works for you. If you're conservative, we will invest your funds in a conservative way. If you're moderate, we'll invest it in the moderate way. If you're aggressive, in an aggressive manner. So of course, we could be in the same plan, but you're conservative, because I can hear very safe. Wilson being in the investment space, I'm assuming he's very aggressive, and I'm going to be in between, right? So at the end of the year, our various portfolios are performing differently. So your return, his return, my return will be very different, right? But over time, these returns converge. over time. Yeah. Right. So the one thing that it's important for members to know when you're saving for pension, don't look at it as a 1-year horizon. Okay. Don't look at it at the return for this year was 2%. Yeah. And you're like, no, this 2% is bad. I need to move. Okay. You know, it's that 1 year. Okay. The economy in that year has performed as such, right? As we proceed into the next year, it might go up, right? And when you look at it over a horizon, all of our 3 portfolios, they will find a convergence in terms of the annualized average return over time. Okay. So that is one innovation that Zamara has done, especially for the individuals, right? When we also talk about the corporate cover, so this is more the umbrella cover, yeah, because now this umbrella cover, of course, is pulling employers who are from various industries, various staff size, staff count. You have your 5-10 people, you want to give them a pension plan, welcome to the umbrella fund, right? You have your 100 people, welcome to the umbrella fund. You even have your 1,000 people, welcome to the umbrella fund. Yeah, because you probably want to plug into the pool. That means you want to plug in and play and your cost is reduced. You want something that's already running. You want something that is tried and tested. Yeah. So this fund is called the Zamara Fanaka Retirement Fund. So as an corporate entity or an employer and you want to plug into this place, we also have investment choice for the employer. Okay. For the individual ones, as an individual, you make the choice. For the corporates, the employer makes the choice for their employees, right? So meaning we are all of us in this umbrella fund, but also our returns are different depending on where we've invested, and is the same space. So we have the conservative space, which is more insured, then you have the aggressive space, which is a segregated space, and then you have the moderate, which is a combination of the two. You have some monies in the insured space and you have some monies in the segregated space, and so of course the return is blended. So the employer looks at their employees, gauges them, sees, hey, the way I'm seeing my people, these ones look like these ones, they are willing to take the risk. So let's go to segregated. No, these ones, maybe my population is a bit older, so I want them to be in a conservative space because the years towards the retirement are a bit shorter, so we want to conserve what they are actually putting together. So those levels of innovation help then employers not feel tied to one strategy. Yeah. So that over 3 years, 5 years, if you feel like now your population has moved from the younger age that was aggressive and now they are tending towards their retirement, you can easily switch. You can come in and say, I'd like to switch my portfolio from the aggressive to a moderate or to a conservative space. It's the employer making the choice. Then of course,
I'm so sorry, Mercy, because but we're running out of time. And we literally have to end the conversation. But I'm just gonna give you a minute each to talk on the conference again, which is happening. Like we said, at KICC Courtyard, under the theme "Making Social Security Reality for All: Future Yako Mikononi Mwako." And yeah, as what is it that people need to expect? You know, what is it that they can look forward to from this conference, which is happening today and tomorrow, right? So Wilson, I'm going to start with you very briefly, if you can.
Yes. Okay. So making social security a reality for all, that's the theme. And the conversations that we'll inviting everyone to KICC. Let's meet there to have these more conversations. And the conversations are around how do we make, how do we help you plan for your retirement? How do we help you plan for that age that you will be active in the job market as well, or probably in running your businesses? So which are the investment products that are out there to help you, navigate that, that means as that time comes. So inviting everyone to join us today at KICC to have these conversations. Future Yako, Mikononi Mwako. Let's have that conversation with you.
I see that. All right, Mercy?
Yeah, see you at KICC, guys. It's free. There is no charge right now. Anything that is free, we're all flocking there. Please come to KICC, right in the central CBD. Interact with all the service providers in this industry. We are many service providers. Get to see what solutions we are all offering, and I'm looking forward to seeing so many guys coming to the Zamara booth. Let's interact. Let's talk about our solutions. Come and find out. What kind of an investor are you? Are you moderate, aggressive, or conservative?
I see
you there.
All right. Thank you very much, Mercy. And again, they might be lucky to meet both of you because you're both going over there. So if you have more questions for Wilson and Mercy, again, make way. Right? Get yourself to KICC. You might meet them there. They will answer all your questions. But for now, allow us to say goodbye to, Wilson Wariari, who's the Chief Investment Officer, Avocap Asset Managers, as well as Mercy Kimunge, Retirement Coach and Manager, Umbrella and Retail Solutions from Zamara, Kenya. My name is Winnie Lubembe. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your viewing. In the next few minutes, we'll be crossing over to Senate, where the embattled Deputy President, that is one Rigathi Gachagua, will be facing his accusers today. And as NTV, we're giving you wall-to-wall coverage on the same. So look forward to that. But for now, have yourselves a lovely day ahead. Goodbye.